Hey, it's Nay, and welcome to Nay's Little Garden. So, we're gonna jump right into this. Grab you a drink, grab you a snack. It's super. I took notes for you guys. I am newer to gardening. This is technically my third year, but I'm really counting it as my second because I did 1 year of attempting to grow indoors years ago, and I had very little success. And so last year I took some years off. Okay, a lot of things happened, and then last year I did it again and had some, I would say, pretty dang decent results then. And this year I intend to have very grand results. I'm talking taking up a good portion of my grocery bill food. That's my goals, right? So I've been taking notes, trying to figure out, because my first round of starts almost horrendous. Some of them are still alive for certain, but compared to the amount I started, horrendous. Some didn't even start. Some that started died immediately. I've not problem. We're gonna get into that. I had over watering situations. I had not enough watering situation, and so we're gonna So underwater. I think most issues a lot of us newer gardeners are gonna have is that we go ahead. Oh, there's another tray at the bottom, and we put too much water. There is such a thing as loving your plants too much, because you should not be watering them every day. You want to think like Mother Nature a little bit. We can never be as good as Mother Nature, but we can try our best. Mother Nature do not be raining every day, every single day. Unless you're in Forks, Washington, and you are over there cackling with Carlisle, the rain is not raining as often as you think it is, which means you should not be watering as often as you think it is. If you're hearing yelling and screaming and galangi in the background, listen, I'm a mom of 3 boys. I'm gonna leave it at that. So moving on, get a spray bottle. One of the best things, my seeds started sprouting a lot better with this and one other thing. We're gonna get into that in a second. But the wonderful, really cool spritz bottles that you see people have on YouTube, that's fabulous. That's fantabulous. You don't have to have it for your first year, 2 or 3. Maybe you don't even never have to have it. Go to the Walmart, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, whatever, and get you a 360 or continuous spray. This will do just fine. It does. I love this thing. And it's quite big. This is amazing. This is 24 ounces, 700 ml. This thing is fabulous. Yeah. I fill this up to the top. It lasts about, like when I'm officially really seed starting, it lasts about a week or so. And then once your seeds sprout, it lasts a lot longer than that, unless I start opening this up and then I start pouring water for the bottom. But yeah. Water less often, spritz more often. Seeds starting, like literally starting your seeds so that they'll actually sprout up. Thoroughly watering your soil is quite literally causing problems. It will give you problems. You want to, when you start your seeds, to have moist soil off it, right? So moisten it before you even put in your pots or your cell blocking, and then leave them the heck alone when it comes to watering, deep watering. What you want to do moving forward for the first few days, guys, I'm talking like 5, 6 days, 7 days, is to spritz with your little spritzer. Do not heavy water. Rotting is so easy to do, guys. When I stopped doing that, let's say 90% of my seeds started to sprout ASAPity. ASAPity. And a lot of your seeds are going to sprout within 7 days. A lot of them. Now, some of these pepper seeds will be having you fight for your life. Humidity domes is the next thing I want to talk about. I love it. I really have it. Peppers take forever. Exclamation point. Patience. Humidity domes are truly your gardener's best friend. I know that there's some people on here that do not like humidity domes. My peppers gave me so many issues and took so long to sprout until I went ahead and got the humidity dome. I'm not here to promote big box stores. However, a lot of people have access to big box stores, and so take your behind to Walmart. Get you those, I'm gonna show you. They have a much bigger one. We're going to get into why I'm not going to promote that one. But get you something like this. It's just the, what is this, 4x4, so there's 16 pellets. Guys, leave this something on there for 5-6 days. You're going to get most of your pepper seeds, no matter how fashionably late they like to be, within 7 to 14 days. I have pepper seeds that didn't sprout for 30 days. Planted those same seeds in here and they sprouted in 14. This humidity dome looks like it's doing a bunch of wild behavior, but it's amazing. It's truly unstoppable. It's, take it off once things start sprouting now. And when I say that, I mean, if you're doing 16, once 3 or 4 of them sprout, take it off. The rest are gonna come through, no matter what. Well, for the most part. Listen, I didn't mean no matter what. Things can happen, but I'm just saying, once you have if you have a 16, if you have 10, a couple, you know what I mean, to sprout, and then you're all good. You are all good. Don't worry about deep watering. Deep water once you actually have sprouts, not with seeds. Spritzing is the most important thing, because you will rot your freaking stuff. Now, I heard people say they use like plastic saran wrap, the plastic wrap. I'm going to be really real with you right now. I don't really use that stuff in my home. So I would have to have actively went and purchased them. So I might as well just get the domes. I also feel like it really keeps everything sealed and great. I'm just not a fan of saran wrap like that. Moving forward. Water-soluble fertilizer can in fact murder your plants. I mean this with my whole chest. I love my water-soluble fertilizer. I use very little of it. Every other week, I'm putting the barest of Quata capful in a big soap water and watering everything from the bottom that has seeds. The next thing I want to talk about is the reason why I'm promoting the smaller, the 16 cell one instead of the bigger one. Do not plant different plants together if you can avoid it. So if that is even too big for you, this 16, this is a 12, and this came with this has its own bottom thing, so you can put water at the bottom, and it also comes with a dome. I'll show you. This, I think, I came as a 5 or 6 pack of these, so that's a lot of seeds. You can start with this, and this particular one came with a light and stuff. I've actually linked this in other videos I have, and then you just can literally start your stuff by itself. This is fantabulous. I love this. This is also, you can seal it off completely by twisting this so there's no air getting in here, so that it's actually humidity dome, and then you can cock it a little bit and let air in there and leave the humidity dome on here, and it will not rot your plants because you left air to go in there. And just, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I will breathe into these sometimes. I had stuff work. Do I think you don't have to? That's up to you. That's up to you. Do what you gotta do. I prefer grow lights instead of shop lights. I bought myself some shop light at the bottom. The grow lights are mostly what I use. I like the grow lights. Now, I could have been doing something wrong in pertaining to the shop lights. I did have stuff sprout with my shop lights. They're definitely greener. Do I think shop lights are significantly cheaper than grow lights in 2025? No. I only had one thingy for the long situation, and I definitely needed 2. And for the price of 2 shop lights, I can get 2 sets of these 4. So you see how these 4 at the bottom? This came as a pack, and then I can get 2 for about the same price. And for some reason, the plants are just doing better. They're not flowering, they're not fruiting, but just for some reason, they're just greener. I think part of the reasoning, to be honest with you, is the plants dry out slightly faster under the regular grow lights than they do the shop lights. And I feel like, personally, once your plants have sprouted, you want them to dry out. We are trying to mimic, horribly, but we are attempting to mimic nature. Nature don't care. Nature be like, you won't dry out. Fine. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you have to be that type of way exactly, but you want to mimic that as much as possible. So when you go to water, there's a less forgiving side to overwatering when you use shop lights, for me personally. Guys, I'm not a big fan of the soil blocks unless you're starting cool weather plants. Cool weather plants for soil blocks is tea. It's tea. My cauliflower, my Napa cabbage, my Lord, are they crying? Hold on, guys. Where was I? The water soluble fertilizer. Yeah, take time with it. Use a lot less than the directions tell you to. It will work. Take time with that, okay? Small peat pots suck. Ooh, why did I write that? Big ones are nice. So the ones I showed you are the bigger ones. The smaller ones, like these, I don't like these. I don't like these. The thing with the peat pot pellets are, I understand the whole sterilized situation. I get it. I get it. Gnats are not as serious as I feel like they make it out to be. I had a gnat problem. I went and got these little sticky trap thingies. They took a lot of the adults down. Like, the problem has dramatically reduced within days of having those sticky traps up. I beat them like this, and they go, and I feel like I've got a reasonable handle on it. Once your plants kind of get like your first true set of leaves, I feel like the gnat stem is not as big of a problem in terms of actually killing your plants. So that's something to keep in mind. The small peat pellets suck. Let's stay focused. The small peat pellets suck because they are so small that they dry out rather quickly. So when you're trying to not overwater plants, you end up having to water these a lot more. And so your other plants start thriving, and then these dry out like the Sahara Desert. And then you're mad, I'm mad, we all mad, together we're mad, and the madness is just crazy. So just leave these little ones alone. If you already have these, I would go ahead and open up all of them, take off these things, put them together, and go ahead and make your own soil. Making your own soil is not as bad as I feel like, at least for us newer gardeners, as it is just getting some potting soil. Because once you start adding things to this soil to make this non-soil, the peat moss, to make your stuff more viable and having nutrients in it, you're basically welcoming some type of eggs of gnat, some sort or whatever, to have a problem. Anyway, so if you're like, this is a lot of process to worry about the blood meal and the fertilizer, the NPK ratios to also add, and make sure you have the vermiculite and the perlite to mix in there as well. All of that is just too much. Go get you Costa Maine or any soil, to be honest. I have this Miracle-Gro massive bag, organic choice. I know Miracle-Gro seems to be like Voldemort to the gardening community. Get what you can because it probably will grow there. I got that huge bag for $20 at Costco. So I'll probably grab a few of them and have a few mixed in with my Costa Maine, because I'm also buying Costa Maine bags. My favorite soil right now is Costa Maine. In comparison, like when you talk about price versus quality, that's top notch. Happy Frog is right above that. One small bag of Happy Frog is about the same price as the big bag of Costa Maine. And then the one big bag of Costa Maine is about 2/3 a price of this massive Miracle-Gro bag. Do what you guys can do. Do what you can afford. At the end of the day, that's it. Try to grow something, because there's a high chance it's going to grow. You know what I mean? Seeds just want to sprout. Seeds are like us. They just want to keep reproducing. And so they're going to do what they can. I already talked about the humidity domes. Making your own soil is the same as a custom. Yeah. Getting a few different sizes for pots. Guys, this was a big one for me. So for me, the best starting ones are in fact the smaller ones. If you think you can start seeds in this, you can. It's just harder. Because when you go to water this, right, you can water it, and remember I talked about the little tiny legs of the sprouts? You may water that to actually properly water this container, and it be too much water for the actual plant you planted in here. So, my favorite things to start in that are actual pots, mind you, real quick, is this, which is 12 or 6. These are about the same size. These are a little deeper than these, but it's about the same size. I find that my seeds love this. I put 2 to 3 seeds per thing, and they're great. I'm at the point, to be honest with you though, you really could just plant 2. 3, and pricking out when you have 3 in there is so annoying. It's possible, but just know you have a 50-50 chance of it living or dying. So as long as you're cool with that, that's fine. I'm offering up to you these 2 options first because it's 12 and 6. Odds are you are going to want to plant at least 3, possibly 4 different things, so you can just do it by rows and not have an issue. If not, you can plant it this way and you can have 2 rows of 3 of the same plant, or you can have 3 rows of 4 of the same plant. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can make it work, and then you can use a lot less of these sticks by just saying, okay, I'm gonna put them like this, and this entire row is 1, this entire row is 1, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? I love this. Also, in case you're wondering, 2 of these will fit the dome of one of these. So I also did that, and this was able to hold this and start some seeds like that as well. Because once these sprouted, I took off their dome and was able to use the dome for other projects. So I love these. So this to me was step 1. Well, a pot that is not actually a pot is the bigger peats that came in their own pot. Those worked just fine as well. The next step up for me personally was either like this or like this. These are a little bigger than this, but they're around the same size. Once you have your first 1 to 3 true set of leaves, you can just go ahead and up pot. I do want to know you can also start seeds in this, but when you start up all those seeds in these bigger ones, it takes up more space, and they're probably not all going to sprout or all going to survive. So you might as well just use a little smaller one. I'm starting to understand why they say use the smaller ones. This way, if it doesn't make it through, you didn't waste all that space. Real. Facts. True fact. Oh, let me put you right here. Real. Facts. True facts. Now, smaller the pot to sprout seeds better. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about. Oh, and then the next one would be something like this. If you're sitting there like, is it really that much bigger? It is, in fact, definitely. It's a little under double the size. And these things are so wide that your stuff can really, like, you know what I mean? It's actually insane how such small differences can actually have big impacts. If on top of that, this being, like I said, this is the next level, you can do this, and this is gonna seem like the most difference, but for some reason they work the same for me, is this. These and this is similar to me. This is actually longer than this. Woo! As I'm flinging stuff. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to go. But it's not as wide, but I find that the plants love this. This one is from Bootstrap, and so they have the thumb thing, but sometimes the width can work to make the plants spread out, but the length can also work to make plants roots come really deep down. So I love both of them. You can get both of them. You can pick one. That one tray thing, it came as like a 40 or 50 pack off of Amazon. Those are Bootstrap Farmers that I got from M.I. Gardner. And so pick one, pick both. The pricing is not that terrible for either, and you get like a 5-pack, I think, from M.I. Gardner, and like I said, 40 or 50 from Amazon. The next one, if you were to start them as early as I did, you're gonna eventually have to pot up again sometimes, would be the bigger boot. So this is also, where is this from? This is American Trade Company, but I think this is from Epic Gardener or something like that. This would be the next size after these, preferably. These are pricier. If you can't, you can work with the ones from Fairy Morris from Amazon. These big, they're just really big. You don't fill this up. I would not fill this up. Just so that equates to about the same thing. And then from there, you plant outside. If you have to up pot again, get a bigger size. I do think that some of this fear of starting too soon stems from trying to help people not have to get so many different size pots, because I hear some of them say like, oh, don't start too early, you're gonna mess up yourself. And then I see other people who start their stuff as early as I did, or even earlier, and their stuff comes out fine. So I think ultimately it's the space you have. Did you actually buy lights? Because that's very important versus growing on the window, as well as the pots. I really think ultimately that's what it is, because there are people who grow stuff indoor year round. So it's feasible, it's possible. Just know it's going to take more work, more money, and more time. That's kind of all it is, and that's kind of where I'm at. I have some big plants, but I also have some plants that I feel like should be bigger and are not. So just because someone's 6-week plant or 8-week plant, looks huge, does not guarantee yours is going to look that same way. It may take your plants 10 weeks to get to someone's 8-week plant, and that is okay. There might have been some errors. It's not the end of the world. I planted out some depressing looking plants last year, and they grew. So don't automatically kick something to the bucket because it doesn't look like your favorite YouTube person's seedlings. I actually want to talk and also learn about the plant that you're growing specifically. So this is the Matapino, and these, I don't know if you can see that. There are so many different terminology. So these are variegated. And I knew from reading about what variegated was, and yet it still shocked me to see the plant like this. I was like, what on God's green earth is going on here? And I'm in love. I'm so excited. You really can fall into the world of the varieties. I'm sure there's a ton of things that have a ton of different varieties, but for me, tomatoes and peppers, I feel like have some of the biggest varieties ever. I mean, maybe corn has a lot of varieties too. It's just, I think, harder for smaller gardeners to grow a lot of, the corn. But the peppers have so many cool different things going on, and so do tomatoes. So I grew quite a few of these Matapinos because I need at least 2 of them to come to fruition. And it looks like, they're doing this type of stuff. Also, play with your plants. I be jiggling these and having my wind blow on them. I be coming over and just booping them. And if some of them don't make it, you are not meant. Survival of the fittest here. Anyway, that's all I really want to talk about. Hopefully I came across as fairly concise, and I've offered up some things that might be useful to you, especially as a new gardener. One of the most important things is to try not to stress yourself out and to have some fun. Oh, bonus thing. These, like I said, are really not that expensive off of Amazon. These little plate lights, they have the timer on them. If you can boost for the extra $5 or $3 to get the timer and wait the extra 2 to 4 days for it to ship to you. That first initial situation I was pulling on the shop light to turn on and off the light, it was crazy trying to keep up with the 8 to 10 hour, the 10-hour thing. Let these click off at 12 hours. Yeah, let them click off at 12 hours, turn back on at the same time. Like, it's just not, to me, it was just unnecessary stress for me personally because I had a little bit more money to spend on it. If you don't, set a timer on your phone. Either way is going to work. One thing I've noticed is gardening is very not specific for a lot of different parts to it. So you can really do a little finagling and adjusting to try to make it work for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. I really hope everyone starts a little garden. Call it whatever you want. Your little garden, your victory garden, your safe space, your whatever. Grow something. Anyway, happy Women's History Month and hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.